With the market still broken, items decreasing significantly more than expected, today we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know right now. Now, talking about the market, it's still broken. However, there is a workaround. Now, the market might appear to be fixed, but it's actually just a couple listings that are ending up sneaking through, presumably because they were probably uploaded to the market over a week ago at this point. That's the fact that if you're looking to buy items, you can just go ahead and click buy order, and it's going to instant fill the cheapest available listing. Now, this sucks for you if you're on the listing end because people really don't know about this. However, if you're looking to pick up some items, you can pick up a lot of them rather cheap compared to some of the listed items, which potentially are almost double what the actual value of the item is. The sponsor for today's video is SkinSwap. Now, SkinSwap is the premier place for CSGO skins and Rust skins. They've got a trading feature with highly competitive rates. They've got a super easy to use selling feature. And if you're looking to deposit today, you're going to be getting a 40% bonus on your deposit. And the best thing, if you sign up with the link in the description, you're going to be getting a free case worth up to $150. So what are you waiting for? Join today and fill all of your CSGO skin needs. Now, one thing I would strongly go against at this time is trying to sell off your items. That's for a couple different reasons. Obviously, we just mentioned the Steam market meltdown. However, a lot of prices have dropped down significantly. We're going to focus in on cases in just a little bit, but if we want to look all across the board, prices are at a little bit of a low right now, and that's not too unexpected with summer being here, CS2 hype fading a little bit, and people selling off items because they want to invest in Paris. There's a lot of factors coming together right now, and I don't think it's a bad time to potentially even think about entering into the market, but it's a really bad time to try and exit the market. You're going to be losing out money whatever you sell. You're going to be losing on the fees. Plus, the fact is some of these items are down potentially 20-30% in a month span. You don't need to lose that extra value for no apparent reason. Now, the area I would be focusing in on at this time is the rare case market. There's a lot of opportunity here because case unboxing numbers are down, and that's actually really good for you as an investor, especially if you're trying to pick up some right now. See, rare cases are on a little bit of a hype spree for the past year, especially some of these cheaper ones, where the fact is they really drop down quite significantly if they don't have the hype, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Even though these cases have a massive supply, the truth is the demand for a lot of these cases are way too high for these cases to sustainably be at a low price for a long time. These cases will increase in price, and even though they may get some of it back, sometimes they end up doubling in just a span of 6 months, like we've seen for so many of these cases. By no means am I telling you to invest into cases right now. However, there's a lot of opportunity in this area. Case unboxing numbers are down, which is a very significant trend that people look for. However, they don't look really into why they're down, and it's quite obvious why they're down. Player counts have dropped a little bit, and the overall game hype has dropped a little bit. Now, I don't want to be the person that hypes on CS2 is going to blow up the market every single video, because that's not 100% guaranteed to happen. However, there is one thing that's 100% guaranteed, and that's the fact that rare cases will keep on decreasing in total quantity out there. There's very few of these added to the supply every month, and especially for some of these newer ones, there is almost 300 times more cases unboxed than there is being dropped for the clutch case in this past month. That's something that not many people realize, that a lot of these cases, even though the supply is massive, is only going to dwindle at this point, and that's going to bring massive profits for the people who are able to hold onto these for a long time. If you want to know what cases I personally like, check out this video. If you want to learn how to research your own cases, check out this video. Now, asking if right now is the best time to buy is a very difficult question. If we want to head to this graph, which I showed off in a previous video, you can see here that we're still teetering right on the edge of basically as high as this graph gets. Basically, this is the difference between the total amount of cases dropped and the total amount of cases unboxed. However, a graph I've never shown you is this one right here. This is the actual day-to-day graph. The past one is the 30-day moving average. And as you can see, if we head all the way over to today, for the first time pretty much in the entirety of this graph's existence, it has consistently peaked above more cases being dropped than actually being unboxed. Now, I want to make this very clear. These are active duty cases that are being dropped, and rare cases for the most part are still being unboxed. So don't take it as a one-to-one that since more are being dropped than unboxed, case prices have to decrease. That's not how this works. However, that's not to say that this graph is insignificant at all. This graph is really looking at a lot of active duty cases and saying potentially they're going to get significantly cheaper than they're already at right now, unless they're held up by investors. That's the biggest thing, is if we see a lot of investor demand pick up these cases and keep them at their consistent price points, they're not going to move. However, it's very unlikely that we see that, especially for some of these cases that are not the snake bite and not the fracture. Now, what does that mean for you specifically? Well, in my opinion, based off all the data we've looked at right now, I would say that it's highly unlikely that the CSGO market is going to instantly rebound and start shooting up for some of these cases cases at the current moment. However, it's not impossible, and we've looked at the CSGO market time and time again, and there is very large jumps and very large crevices. It's just how the CSGO market works, and it's the reason why it's so profitable to invest into CSGO. If you want my personal opinion, I would say go for it if you're trying to invest into some rare cases, just because you're going to be able to dollar cost average in very cheap right now. We don't know if it's going to get more expensive. Some of the cases like the revolver have gone up relatively quickly in the past week or two, and it's very possible that once one case starts going up like this, the other ones could follow relatively easily, just because that's how hype works in the CSGO market and the CSGO scene in general. Now, if you think there's going to be a major update on the horizon, not talking about CS2, the data 100% supports that. If we want to look about this, we haven't seen new maps in over 210 days, which is very significant considering the max before this was 190, and the average was really not much higher than about 130. Talking about a brand new case, we're also about 2 weeks overdue for that specifically, according to this data. And if we want to talk about operations, we're currently in the second biggest drought ever for an operation, only about 220 days away from when Shattered Web was released, in the time between that and Operation Hydra. Now, what this means for you is also quite hard. Obviously, if you think that all of this is just due to CS2, there's not too much you can do about it. However, if you do feel that there is a major update on the horizon, or if you think CS2 is coming relatively soon, there are a couple decent investments you might want to look into. The first of which is going to be filler skins. Filler skins are the #1 opportunity when we talk about trade ups. That's just because these things shoot up crazy high in price very quickly when a brand new operation comes out. That's because everyone wants to do the trade ups, and they want to give themselves the best chance at getting these brand new operation items, because they're going to be extremely expensive. If we want to look at these items currently, they're down about 25% in the past 2 weeks, although they have started to level out at a very significant but still around average price point of about $1.10 to $1.15 for most of these. Now, the good thing about these is they go up and down quite significantly. Looking at the 1-year chart, you can see they go up and down a lot. The good news is there's probably not going to be a ton of room to drop down for these items, because they really didn't get much lower than 90 cents beforehand, and now that there's a lot more demand for these, I really can't see them getting much lower than that. However, use your own personal discretion, don't just take my opinion for it. However, there's a lot of upside to this, and that's because if CS2 releases with brand new collections, these ones have a very strong possibility to be retired, and that's very significant because these ones are extremely good right now. See, the way Valve has been creating their collections, they have not been doing it for trade up people. That's because these current ones are optimized to only have one purple or potentially one pink, which is really good for people doing trade ups. However, Valve has not prioritized that for their newer collections, and if they go ahead and get rid of that in the future, these could potentially be the only ones that you can use to give yourself the best opportunity in trade ups. Most of the active collections are almost 10 years old, and even the 2 newest ones are almost 5 years old at this point. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day.